Hi, this is take 4 of me doing a video. I'm going to give you the answer. If you were looking up the question, how do I turn off the annoyances on Google, the search engine? You turn off JavaScript. And I'm going to show you really quickly how to do that and some of the caveats. Here we are on Google. I'm just going to go to the main home page here. Now I have mine configured to where if I just hit on my home page, it just brings up google.com and I'm raw dogging Google. But if I go over here and type in a word like test and hit enter, it's supposed to bring up a version of Google, and it did. It's supposed to bring up a version of Google that doesn't have AI answers and doesn't do any advertising. It's not doing it anymore. So that and the fact that when I type things with JavaScript enabled, and I type in TEST and hit spacebar, it brings up an ad. That's what that is right there. It's not a friendly, helpful suggestion. It's an ad. Because if I put in TES, it brings up an ad for Tesla. So those are ads. Down here, it brings up a bunch of stuff I'm not looking for. And it wants to bring up all sorts of things that are unpleasant to look up. Don't image search those. Okay, so we're going to do a test. We're going to type in Stephen Crowder, change my mind, because I'm looking up the meme. Now I might have misspelled it. I managed to misspell it every time. I don't know what it is. I always do. But you might have noticed I typed it in lowercase because I'm not hitting the shift key. I'm not hitting caps lock for cruise control. And you might have noticed it gave a spelling error. Now I'm going to right click and open the correct spelling in the background, and we're going to look at this really quickly. Spell equals 1 is one of the parameters. The other parameter, you have to read these, is ampersand Q equals, that's query, Stephen Crowder, change my mind, and it's ampersand spell equals 1 for the spell check being done. And search question mark and ampersand are about the same thing. Question mark has to come first, apparently. Yes, some other websites actually don't require that be done, but this is apparently what it has to do here. Yes, I know someone's going to say actually, and then they're going to say it's some universal law. Anyway, HL equals EN is the next one. Let's grab this one, cut, and we're going to put this at the end here with an ampersand and put that in there and see if it works the same way. And it does. Now that doesn't always work that way, but this is a list of command line instructions or switches. Again, this here, that address bar, is the command line or the console. And any of you gamers know that's where we type in our cheat code. So we type in ID Clev or ID Pisspot. Okay? All right. So Stephen Crowder, changed my mind. We got a lowercase here. If I hit space with JavaScript enabled, we get a bunch of drop downs, and it's a lowercase. It also means that if I hover over any of these, it changes it to something I didn't type. It helps me. I don't like that. That's why we're looking this up. Because some of you may have noticed, no matter what you type in, it will type in whatever's trending, and you'll be looking up stuff you weren't looking for, and you'll think, did I type something wrong? Because it's oddly specific when it brings up a makeup tutorial when I'm typing up MakerBot. Yeah, that happened. So anyway, the other thing I might have noticed is it's in lowercase. What if I do these as uppercase characters by putting a capital C and a capital S and I hit enter? And then when I hit space, oh, it's doing lowercase only. If you're not aware of it, by doing lowercase only and just assuming lowercase only, Google can save a little bit of bandwidth and a little bit of data space because it just remembers it's a letter of the alphabet. It doesn't care what its casing is. That's actually what's going on. It's not just doing this for his name. I could put in Stephen Tyler and it'll also lowercase his name, just to get that out of the way. But what I'm talking about here is it insisting on helping by doing this, and then if I backspace and I move my mouse to the left to get it out of the way, which is my normal pattern behavior, so I can hit enter. And hit enter without looking, it'll put in something I wasn't looking for. It did that a while ago. Now, I also want to point out what happens if I'm going to close that. What happens if I go ahead and just hit the change my mind, Stephen Crowder, but have his name spelled correctly because I spelled it wrong because he uses a V instead of a PH because he's a weirdo. Okay, when I do that, I want you to look up here at the command line. This is where we do our cheat codes. This is where we see a little bit of what Google's up to. It didn't change the spelling up there. And if I click over here on the right side to the right of mind, besides it bringing up a drop down, it might unspell check it. Now, for the last week or so, it's been doing that. Actually, it's the last month. But I want to point out again, all I have to do is move to the left real quick, and suddenly it's typing in whatever the hell it wants, and that means I am being assumed to have typed those when I didn't. I don't like that. Now, one of the ways I get around this is that I go ahead here and I don't look at the screen, I look at the keyboard, because I look at the screen, I look at the keyboard when I'm typing. I don't touch type. The reason I don't is if I had to, this would drive me fucking crazy because it's dynamic behavior that bothers me. That's just me. You might be different. Some of you are used to this. But the problem is, again, it started typing things that have nothing to do with what I'm looking for because it started running an ad. Okay? So how do we disable this completely? Well, here we go. Now, I want you to, again, we're going to look at our command line. We have our HL for English. We have an ampersand Q for query. We have what we're looking for. And then it has this at the end, GBV2. Okay? Now, we're gonna do some things. I'm gonna hit books. Then I'm gonna hit news. Then I'm gonna hit videos. Everything's consistent. Now let me hit images. Looks normal. Okay. Now I'm gonna go back to all. Now we're gonna get rid of this and type in the word test. T-E-S-T. Hit enter. And we get everything normal. Books. Maps. Didn't want to. Maps was a mistake. Oh no, go. Okay. Videos. That's the wrong side. Okay, we get consistent behavior out of it. It's behaving up. It's not. Image search stopped being consistent a while ago. And it also includes that it changes a new code in GBV, and that equals 2. When we hit all here, we go back. If I get rid of the GBV2, it goes back to being pretty much normal. Let's see if we do that again. Books. It's got UDM 36. That means books. Okay, news. TBM, tab browser something, it says NWS short for news. Videos, it says vid. Images brings up ISCH, that's image search. Okay, and if we go back to all, you might have noticed it didn't do that thing with the weird character. Now I'm going to turn off JavaScript. This is a utility called YesScript2, and it blocks JavaScript by turning it off. Now I want to point out, JavaScript runs on your computer. It's not consuming any processing cycles at Google. That means it slows down your computer and it makes their computer run faster. Let's hit that and turn off JavaScript. Now everything looks the same. Let's hit books. Normal. News. Normal behavior. Videos. Normal behaviors. Now you might have noticed it just says the query is test, HL for language is English, and TBM is vid. Now we're going to go TBM image search. And it looks normal. About half the time, however, it doesn't. Let's go to the main page again. Let's type in test. Hit enter, and I'm going to hit images. And it says I need to update my browser, and it's done something different. It's added a new parameter, GBV1. I'm going to remove that and see what happens. Now it's consistently saying, I need to update my browser. That wasn't real a minute ago because it's not. Let's type in GBV2. Let's see if that fixes it. And suddenly it's fixed. This lame ducking, this fear, uncertainty, and doubt thing is what, well, your browser isn't supported anymore. No, it's because it turned off JavaScript and you exploit it for doing drop downs. Let's go back here to all. No drop down, no interference. If I type in P-H-E-N Crowder, it offers a spell check. Now what happens when, okay, let's right click and open a new tab with JavaScript disabled. It does what it's supposed to do. Everything's normal, everything's fine, and it has GBV2 in it. Okay, cool. Now we go here and I click this. What happens here? It actually changes the command line up here because I've turned off JavaScript. It's not doing dynamic HTML. It's doing it using Google's processor cycles to put the correct spelling in here so that even if I hit spacebar, it can't change it back. For about a month and a half, if I had something spell checked, it wouldn't change it up here. And if I type down here and I hit spacebar, it would unspell check it, and I'd have to tell it, yeah, I want you to change the spelling to the correct spelling because I have horrible spelling skills. Again, I look down at the keyboard. I don't look at the screen. number one, because I am not a touch typist. Number two, this kind of drop down shit interferes with me. Next stage is, for the last month or so, Google has been deliberately fucking up spell check. Next, the easiest way around this seems to be just to turn off JavaScript. Let's do a partial JavaScript disable. I'm going to hit news, videos, books. Don't hit maps, that's a completely different site. And I'll hit images. And it works fine. Let's get rid of the GBV equals 2. Let's just do that. Let's see what happens. Partial JavaScript's enabled. Everything's fine. Now let's fully turn off JavaScript. Let's go back to all. We're going to grab this, copy. And if I hit spacebar, we get nothing going on. Let's go to here. Let's type in Steven Crowder, not test. Let's hit images. Your browser's broken. And of course, it's GBV1, so we do that 2 in it, and it works fine. It is currently proving to me that it's lying about needing a new browser because it really just wants you to load up Chrome. Because when we have that error, when we do a learn more, with JavaScript disabled, by the way, partially or fully, it doesn't matter. It does this no matter what. It says upgrade your browser. It brings up Google Chrome first. Then it brings up Firefox, MS Edge. What the fuck are you talking about? Firefox is obviously the best one. What are you doing? But this is a very not so subtle nod to the fact that they definitely do not want you to run anything other than their browser, because I can do that and it works fine. With JavaScript enabled or disabled, it works fine. As long as it's GBV equals 2. That's our new cheat code on Google, because Google has decided to play games, and nothing says playing games properly like using cheat codes, because this is a large corporation and they don't deserve your respect. So anyway, how to disable any kind of search suggestion or drop down or whatever? Turn off JavaScript. And if you want it to work correctly, you've got to create something like this. So let's try this. I'm going to hit space and hit enter. Now we have our starting point. This can be our new string for you looking up stuff on Google. Google.com/search $HL equals EN, or whatever language you have, ampersand GBV equals 2, ampersand Q equals plus. Plus means space. If you use that as your new happy joy link, you can turn off JavaScript and the damn thing will work correctly. Anything else, and it'll lie to you about being broken. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that.